Hi, good morning, and welcome to the NuSpecian Live Q&A. I'm Jillian.
And I'm Aston. Good morning, morning, morning.
Thank you so much for being here. NuSpecies is a natural health company. We invent and manufacture our own line of high potency plant-based herbal medicine and liquid vitamins and minerals.
Mhm.
All of our formulas are designed to help your body be as resilient as possible against the toughest of health challenges. Our mission here at NuSpecies is to help you live better and longer. And in order to do that, we provide education, we customize combination of our products, we track your progress, and of course, we do this Q&A to make sure you're getting all the answers you need to your questions because everyone is on their own unique health journey, and a good health choice for one person may not be a good health choice for someone else. And that's why we dedicate this time every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. to make sure you are getting the answers to your questions. So thank you so much for being here today.
And if you have questions, fire away. And we're going to do a little chit chat with you first. You have friends anywhere in the world, they can join, whether on YouTube or otherwise. You should just reach out to them and let them know that we're here. And especially friends and family who have health issues, just reach out to them. They may learn something that they can do at home to help themselves because a lot of what we do is self-help for you to be able to do it at home, like diet and lifestyle. And those are so critical. Diet and lifestyle. What you do at home is so critical.
Absolutely. Yeah, our formulas are an excellent supplement for what you may not be getting from your diet, and also just to give your body an extra boost along the way, depending on what you're trying to rebuild from or what you're trying to maintain. But certainly they don't replace all the things you could be doing in your life to minimize your exposure to toxins, to minimize any damage you might be causing in your body, and then also to continue to promote good cardiovascular health and good bone health and digestive health and brain health. All the things can be done by a variety of methods. And so if you have questions about anything that you're trying to do to improve your health, we will give you insight that we have. And if we don't know, we will certainly let you know that. But feel free at any point in the show to ask your questions. I do see an initial question from CA75, although I don't know if it's a question or you're just letting us know an update. If you could clarify, you're not on any medication or have any health problems. You started taking the detox formula and then ended up in the ER. You had a TIA. So I don't know if you're asking if there could be any correlation between the detox formula and having a TIA, or if you're just letting us know that that is an update of something that had happened. So you can just clarify so we can answer appropriately, although we can also just start answering any version of that question.
Right. And if you have a lab report that was generated, they must have done some labs, or even endoscopy. I don't know. If you have those, you can send them in to us so we can see what's been happening. But one of the things that we could do from time to time, Joe, is to talk to our clients or the species family about how a lot of these health issues that we humans get, how they get started, and what they can do to prevent them, what they can do to once they get them to make sure that they don't get worse, what they can do to help themselves, because a lot of these health issues are that we come across, like diabetes, blood pressure, high cholesterol, and even cancer. A lot of these issues are dietary issues, and that can be minimized, alleviated, or avoid, altogether. People, if certain lifestyles are adopted, and that's what we have seen in over a decade. We've been doing this. I've been doing it for over 20 years, and I've seen a lot. We don't know everything, but we have seen a lot. For example, when it comes to, you mentioned the detox.
Mhm.
Um, if you look at the studies that are out there, folks, you'll see that they're tracking digestive diseases
Mhm.
and how different parts of our digestive tract, our digestive system, different digestive organs, they're getting up to 3 billion hits, meaning that whether it's virus, bacteria, chemicals on a daily basis, and that's why there's so many digestive diseases. That's why a lot of people get high blood pressure from digestive diseases. So there's a lot that we as humans have to do, especially in the industrialized world where there's so much toxins and so much chemicals. And you all may not know, large number of chemicals, new chemicals that never existed, are being created in labs. And a lot of these compounds are more deadly than even the natural chemicals that God made and placed, on the earth or in the universe. So that's what we humans are doing. So the digestive tract is where a lot of people develop high blood pressure because of the infections that are there, because of the inflammation that's there from diet and lifestyle issues. So we should spend some time, maybe dedicate a whole segment of what we do this stream, and just let people know what they can do at home to avoid these issues. And then you go to the doctor,
Mhm.
and the doctor can't help you. You have this issue for life, or it kills us,
Mhm.
when there's a lot we can do to help. So if you have questions on that, please, fire away, because there are certain parts of our bodies where that have more disease conditions than others, way more disease conditions, and we can talk to you about that, and why you should focus on those areas, those organs, to make sure they're safe and sound.
CA 75, if you want to provide more detail, you know, um, diagnosing a TIA can come from experiencing a variety of symptoms. For those of you who don't know, just the formal definition of a TIA is it's a transient ischemic attack. And so there could be different symptoms regarding weakness of muscles on one side of the body, slurred speech. There can be a variety of things, vision problems that could indicate that there is a blockage of blood flow in
Hmm.
an artery.
Could be blood pressure related.
It's temporary, so
Hmm.
usually it passes very quickly, and there's not usually any sign of it on a scan after the fact to be sure that, that something had happened. We just know it happened because of symptoms, unlike a stroke, which you would see on a scan after the fact. And usually a stroke will cause damage to the brain, whereas TIAs typically don't, and they can happen many times in someone's life. So I'm curious to know if you want to talk any further about it, or you just want us to make a note of it in your chart and we can always talk about it another time.
Yeah, I would like to see the labs.
Mhm.
A lot of people get TIAs, and don't even know. But so send us your labs. You can send us any scans that were done, whether during this emergency visit to the hospital or before. Send us your scans, send us your lab reports, send us your urinalysis. The urinalysis, can tell us a lot about our biochemistry and the kind of inflammation that's in our body. The urine actually reflects, quite a bit of what's happening in our bodies overall, just like our blood. We do blood tests, we do urine tests. That's why they do that. So send us all of those, and then let's sit with you and go through it, and see what your doctors are saying, and we can advise you as to what to do. And if you're in medication, we can advise you as to how you should communicate with the doctor to make sure that you're getting the proper medical treatment. And that's one of the things that we do, that I do. I advise people as to how they can get the best out of the medical system. The United States has the best medical system on the earth, but many people who live in the United States don't know that, and don't take advantage of it. even though you're taxpayers or you're citizens, we have one of the best, we have very likely the best medical system on the earth. And we don't take advantage of it by using the doctors who we're paying through insurance or otherwise to do the best that they can to help us. So we can help you on that as well.
Mhm.
All right.
They said that luckily everything was normal with blood work. I'm curious if they did any other scans because it can be standard after a TIA. They obviously want to rule out a stroke, and so they may do many other types of tests for your cardiovascular system. And sometimes that can reveal more information, either that you are maybe healthier than you thought, or maybe there's something else going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious to know if they did any other tests there. But being on the detox is a good thing. It's a good start to helping your digestive system clean up, to promoting the propagation of healthy bacteria, and to clear up any sort of leakage that could be happening, like leaky gut, which many people have. Most of us have if we're eating a modern lifestyle, a modern, a standard American diet. But uh, the digestive system is like it's considered the second brain in the body, and when the gut microbiome gets out of balance between pathogens and healthy bacteria, you can end up with a whole host of diseases and health problems. So certainly if you're going to start anywhere with NuSpecies, and especially if there's a budget restriction, getting on our detox powder for the intestines and colon is an excellent place to start, and should hopefully help clear up any sort of suboptimal functioning of your body systems that could have led to this TIA, and hopefully you won't have any more. But if you have any further questions about that, let us know. And then if you ever want to, based on your labs or on your experience, because I'm sure that was really scary, even for those who live with you or who maybe experienced it with you.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that can be kind of traumatizing for a while. So if there's anything else you need from us on that front, we're here for you.
Right. And even though they say the labs are good, please send them in to us, because I can tell you most people who have certain health issues who are told, and I'm speaking about people who come to us, who come to NuSpecies, tens and tens of thousands of people, literally. They will be told by their medical practitioners that their labs are good, their labs are clean. And when, they bring their labs into us, there are all kind of stuff in there, that, the doctors don't have time to go through all these things. So a lot of times though, is if what I have observed personally is that if there are things in your lab or your scans and the doctors don't have a medication for it, they don't discuss it. There's no point discussing it with you.
But also, it's interesting, especially in an emergency environment. So they wrote that yes, CT scan was done, MRI, bubble ultrasound, sound test, ultrasound on my legs.
Mhm.
Um, CT was normal, and the MRI, there was an issue with the bubble ultrasound. All right, so be curious if you could, as you had said, you're going to send all those in. Aston can look at them. But
Yep.
what is interesting when you do all this is, especially if you're in an emergency environment, they are just going to hyper focus on the symptom that brought you there. So even if these tests reveal other sorts of things that are not great about your health, they're typically not going to discuss them. They're just going to refer you back to your
Primary
primary
care,
care doctor.
mhm,
And
are the specialists that your primary care will refer you to.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it can kinda
Mhm.
get like a whole web starts to get created, and it can become very overwhelming. And since Aston looks at these, thousands and thousands of these reports over many years, maybe he can help focus you on what to, prioritize.
Right, because and this, everything we say, it goes for all of you, it goes for all of us. Doctors are not looking for root causes. They start looking for root causes when people are dying. They don't look for root causes. They look for what they can treat, what they can cut out, what they can give you medication for. They're not going to dig deep. I spoke with one of our clients yesterday. Unfortunately, he had an infection for over 20 years, and he's been doing, cytoscopic testing since the 1990s. Maybe he's on listening. Not going to say his name, and they never tried to find the bacteria that was causing all the infection. And every year he's doing 3, 4, 5, depending on how bad the infection shows up in his kidneys or his bladder or his urethra or his prostate. He's doing up to 5 courses of antibiotics every year
Wow.
since the 1990s, and it just blew his blood pressure off the chart,
Wow.
and his kidneys are damaged. They've been damaged for like years, and if it weren't for NuSpecies, I'm going to say it, he probably would have lost his kidneys already.
Hmm.
So, but they have never gone off to find the bacteria that's causing all these issues. They just gave him antibiotics that never worked, and it was just sad. He finally sent, I was
Mhm.
telling you about it, sent us his cytoscopic medical exams, and it was just shocking what was in there, and
Mm.
he didn't know.
Wow. Yeah, and this is the thing too, this happens a lot with our clients is you'll come.
And oh, by the way, he's a very wealthy person who could pay for all these tests from his pocket if they would just tell him what the heck they're not doing. And
Mm,
that's the sad part. It's not money why the doctors didn't do it. They just didn't do it.
it's not part of the process. But another thing that can get in the way for a lot of our clients is when you come to NuSpecies for one particular thing, you may just be very narrowly focused on that symptom or that health goal. Even though we explain that your body has to fix itself and we're not treating any one particular symptom or disease, we're just empowering your body to fix itself. And in a lot of times, our clients will end up seeing a multitude of benefits because you can't force nutrition to do just one thing in the body. Your body is going to do whatever it can with what we provide. But even then, a lot of our clients will come back years later and they'll say that they had this horrible health experience and they completely forgot to come to NuSpecies because it didn't occur to them that we could have helped them with that thing. And so since we're helping your body fix itself, that means that we have the power to help your body do anything it could possibly do. So don't narrow your own benefits with NuSpecies by only focusing on one thing in the same way that the medical industry is only focusing on one thing.
Right. A way to summarize that for you all is that you're taking a medication, you're taking it for one thing you're taking that medication from your doctors for. You come to NuSpecies and we recommend the LNU to you or the anti-inflammatory or the detox. We're trying to help you with a lot of things, not one or two, not even a dozen, more than a dozen, a lot of things we're trying to help you with. We just don't have the time to go into the details to explain to you, what these different aspects of your health we're trying to fix. Let's say you have high blood pressure. What's the cause of high blood pressure? There are many causes. When we make a recommendation to you, we're trying to fix all the causes that are known to modern science that cause high blood pressure. We're giving you something that will help you with all those causes. And so we're fixing a lot of things in your bodies. And I think that's what's called the holistic approach to health, as opposed to the singular, looking at just one thing and trying to fix that one thing when you may not be able to fix the one thing because that one thing, like let's say high blood pressure, or let's say a TIA, could be caused from so many things going on in the body, which means that
Yeah.
that person, if the root cause is not fixed, they will continue to have that issue. And it doesn't matter how many medication you're taking for that one issue, you will still have it and have it for life unless the root cause is rectified.
Mm. Right. We were consulting with one of my mom's doctors the other day, and he had to keep reinforcing for her that when you use a drug, it is one one weapon or piece of, part of your artillery that you're using, if you want to use a metaphor. But it's basically, one arrow at one bullseye. When you use nutrition, you can take one nutrient and it's going to hit many bullseyes. And that is the beauty of keeping nutrition and healthy diet and lifestyle as part of your rebuilding program, because you have so much more power to help yourself if you're giving your body these multi-targeted nutrients. Yes, you are still likely going to need that medication or that surgery that is targeting just one bullseye. But then you have the additional power to add in all these other mechanisms or, weaponry to your artillery, if you want to use
Absolutely.
that kind of metaphor for fighting against a disease.
Absolutely. And, we could use TIA, that's the A75. That's a great name. It's the first I'm actually looking at the name, you know. But if we use this example of TIA could be neurologically related. This usually is, but it could be caused from toxicity. It could be caused from infection. It could be caused from inflammation. It could be caused from bacteria. It could be caused from parasites. You know, there are just so many triggers. It could be caused from damaged blood vessels. There are just so many triggers or causes, folks, when it comes to a health issue. So those of you who come to us, you know, let's say you have diabetes, we give you something to help you with, the glucose in your bloodstream, because that's what everybody thinks, when they think of diabetes. But we think deeper than that. We go to those beta cells in the pancreas that are damaged, that are probably, the genes that are damaged that create, that create the beta cells. So the beta cells are damaged, the genes are damaged. So when we recommend something for you, we're trying to help your body to repair the genes or rebuild the genes and rebuild, the amino acids being created by the genes to support the cells, that's the beta cells that's damaged. So we are looking at many tiers of rebuilding when we make a recommendation to you. And then with diabetes, if we're able to help you fix repair the DNA or the genes, now they can create healthier cells, because cellular replication is one of the ways God allow us to live so long. And that's why, people who live up to 90, 100, over 100 years, they live that long primarily because they're having very healthy cellular replication in in certain organs, because when the cells are replicated frequently,
We're back. Okay. All the lights just went out and then everything flashed back on. We apologize for that.
Yeah, I guess we invent new species, and now we probably have to invent our own power systems so we can be more sustainable. We don't have to rely on other people to give us the power to support our clients worldwide. We're sincere apologies for that.
It's the last I never thinks of is what next he can invent. No more inventions. All right, welcome back. So, Aston, do you remember where you were?
Yes, you know, it's the whole process about how diseases are formed. All diseases, including cancer, that we all fear. You know, I've met anyone who doesn't fear cancer. It means that the genes and the DNA get damaged by all these elements I just mentioned: bacteria, viruses, parasites, chemicals in food, in water, in the air. You know, all these things, they damage our genes, damage our DNA, and then the DNA produce inferior protein to support the cells. Let's say the beta cells. We're talking about diabetes, and now these beta cells are damaged, and the body can't produce the insulin necessary to burn or store the glucose from the foods we eat. If we drink water, our glucose could go up. So that's how critical it is to have a healthy pancreas, healthy genes, DNA, and cells. So these are some of the things that I think we should dig deeper in, so our clients can understand what we're doing at the molecular level, at many levels, to support their bodies, to rebuild their bodies, purify their bodies using the detox in different ways. I think we really need to drill deeper into this.
Yeah, well, I think it's just a great explanation for I mean, you probably had this experience as well. You come to NuSpecies and you're like, why is this so expensive? Why does this cost so much more? And we'll often say, well, if you're comparing our formulas to a standard nutritional supplement that you've been buying at a, vitamin shop or something, or, I didn't mean to say like the name of a company, just like a place that sells vitamins, minerals, a health food store or something, then that's why it seems like there's such this huge difference between NuSpecies products and our pricing and the products that you've been used to, but you really can't compare them. They're completely different. When we're providing a formula that has plant ingredients that are raw, it is liquid. These ingredients are all organic, and we've formulated it to be exceptionally potent. Then And then where the way that it's been designed is to help your body actually rebuild itself in a biologically appropriate way.
Hmm. The way the
So,
body works.
right, trying to repair genes and trying to clean out and repair body systems and tissues and doing all these processes that the body does every day. We're trying to create formulas that are supporting the body to do those things. A standard supplement is saying, hey, do you think you're low on vitamin B6? Here's B6. But that's not how the body works. If we're low on B6, there's some sort of imbalance, other things are happening. And so, in the same way that when you have a health problem, we're looking for the root cause of the problem, it's the same thing with any nutritional deficiency. The the solution is not necessarily to take more B6. And that was just an example. But I mean,
Hmm.
sometimes one vitamin or mineral is low because another one is.
Hmm.
And the solution is not to start reverse engineering the way nature works and buying 15 different supplements and taking them all, and you're basically making up your doses. You don't actually know how much you need. So yeah, is it cheaper on the face? Sure. But if your goal is just to save money and not actually get results or potentially even harm yourself, then fine, I guess save money. But is that really saving money in the end when you're now prolonging the problem your body is having? It's potentially getting worse, and you're only going to need more intervention as the years go on. So, what we're trying to do is just get to do it the right way, the way your body actually functions. And that is completely different than the way the standard supplement industry is operating. And so they really can't be compared. And yes, it costs more, but that's because we're doing it in a way that just works. So you actually just get the results you need and the health benefits you need, which then carries on to pay itself off in a numerous ways.
Hmm. So, the whole aspect you all should research it. Please do take some time and find a really good medical site. I usually go to John Hopkins or, even Sloan, not, not just for cancer, but research. You can go to the NIH, the National Institutes of Health, or you can I think it would be worthwhile for all of you to subscribe to some reputable medical database, or where you can just get information rather than go on the internet, make YouTube your doctor, make Facebook your doctor, make social media channel your doctor. A lot of you come to me and say, "Oh, I saw this on YouTube," or "I saw this on Facebook." And there's no authority behind what you're proposing to me, that you saw, that whether it's a herb or a plant or
Mm.
something or a supplement, and ask me about it. um there's no authority behind what you're seeing in a lot of these publications that people they're making. So spend the $10 or per month and subscribe to a reputable medical database and study, read up on cellular replication, and you will see why cancer is so dangerous in certain organs. You will see why if you have diabetes, you're going to have it for life unless you take certain action. Blood pressure, cholesterol, a lot of these health issues, the doctors are right, you're going to have them for life if you don't take action to fix them, to rebuild them. And I'm going to tell you what a lot of doctors actually think. That's what they tell me. You go to a doctor and you have high blood pressure, or diabetes, or high cholesterol. The doctor's just going to give you the medication and not go further than that, because in his or her mind, you did not take, they could tell from your labs that you didn't take good care of yourself. And so they think you don't care about your health or your life. And so they don't care. So some of you would say to me, this doctor was so sharp with me and indifferent. Some doctors have told me that they're that way because they have this patient for years and they could tell this patient doesn't care. Why should they care? Right? So, but you need the information, you need the knowledge to be able to help yourself. I use the words upfront, self-help. That's why we're here. That's why we're here to give you all this information without you having to pay for it, so that you can go home and help yourself, help your children, help your family, help your friends, your neighbors, the church parishioners.
Well, I was thinking that's why they're not going to go subscribe to any kind of journal and
Because they
study
can get it
themselves. They're
here.
just going to come here.
Well, get it here. Get it here and ask
That's the whole
those
point, right?
questions. Ask those questions then. Ask us what's causing the issues you have. Ask us why your medication may not be working. We may not know some of these answers, but we're going to send you back to your doctors with questions. That's a huge part of what we do at NuSpecies. We advise you as to what you need to do. We advise you what labs to do. We advise you, the questions you should ask your doctors, your specialists, because a lot of times you don't know, or you're afraid to ask, or you're shy. And we have been brutalized over these 20 years, especially for me, I've been doing this, that we don't care anymore. We don't care about being brutalized. And we don't even, I don't care about being killed either.
Okay.
But we're going to,
I think you need to contextualize that a little bit more.
meaning that we are going to do the right thing,
Oh.
irrespective of what the powers of be do or say. We're going to do it. We're going to tell you the truth. And as the adage goes, the truth, should set you free, whether it's your health or otherwise.
So we've got a comment from Johnny Be Good. He said, "Happy Saturday, Aston and Jillian. My formula is doing an awesome job. I'm just using it once daily. The fungus in my fingers is almost gone."
Wonderful.
That's excellent. And we were just talking last week about how my sister said she had gotten like a little fungus in her toenail, and she started putting the El-Nu on right on her toenail, just rubbing it in every day and then taking it as well internally. And it just took about a week, and her toenail like started to clear up and fall off and crack up, and then now it's growing out nice and clean. So that's something we don't talk about enough. A lot of people have that and they're just so like, there's just nothing, like, I don't, nothing works, nothing I can do about it. But actually there is. We can hear consistent feedback about that.
Our formulas, and I'm going to go on a limb now, and I usually don't talk like this, but I feel revolutionary today.
Ready to die.
Well, our formulas or herbal medicine. They're natural. I don't like to use the word herb sometimes. They're natural medicine because what's in our formulas are herbs, but they're plants also that are not categorized as herbs. And we have green foods in, our formulas, which are high in chlorophyll. And so there are many levels to how we formulate new species formulas. So yes, you ingest them, you swallow them, you drink them, but they can also be used externally on your skin. If you have skin issue, so you can. It's going to be grainy and sticky, but what if you're suffering with acne or psoriasis or any of these
Mm.
issues, fungal issues? And yes, you're going to feel uncomfortable for maybe a few months, but you can use all the new species formulas externally if you have any kind of infections or wounds or boils or lumps or bumps. And believe it or not, if you have a lot of these lumps and bumps and cysts in your skin, over time they can turn to cancer. Even if they're on your toe or your leg or your hands or your fingers, they can turn to cancer because the genes and the DNA may be breaking down because of the inflammation or infection or virus that are causing you to have this perpetual cyst or lump.
Mm.
So don't take them for granted. Okay.
Right, that's the thing too, is when we look at a lump or a bump or something or a cyst and say it's benign. Okay, it's benign, it may not be cancer right now, but it's clearly a sign that our body is not keeping up, right? It's not able to handle everything that's happening, and so now we're seeing these little symptoms of like, ugh, your body's triaging, and it's like, I can't deal with that right now. Or it's getting inundated with something it can't deal with. So it's good to let those benign symptoms alert you that you have a heads up to do something and do it now. Don't wait.
Right. We had a client from Guyana. He used to come to Mount Vernon. Very, very, very nice guy. He had a lump on his forearm, and he had it for years. And his doctors told him, we're just going to watch it and see if it gets hard. And if it gets hard, we can cut it out. But there's nothing you need to do about it. And finally, that lump did get hard. And when he cut it out, and the doctor did the pathology, it was cancerous. And then a few months later, he started having back pain, and the lump that was removed from his forearm, the cancer spread to his spine,
Oh,
and
yes, I remember this.
he's no longer alive because
Mm,
the cancer had spread throughout his body, through the bone. So he had this one little lump in his arm, didn't hurt, no pain, didn't bother him. It was just there. He took it as nothing. And the doctor said, "Oh, we're going to watch it until it gets hard." Well, they did watch it for a number of years and when it got hard, they removed it and found cancer, and the cancer had spread throughout his body. So if you're born and you don't born with something, and now it appears, whether you're a baby or a child or an older person, it appears something is wrong, and don't watch it.
mm.
It's the most
The doctors will watch it. Let
stupid.
them watch it. You fight it.
Fight it, right? Watching it is one of the most silly medical term. I say medically because that's what the doctors say. They're going to watch it. They're going to monitor it.
That's all they can do.
If your PSA is over 4, and all of medical science worldwide in all these countries who do research on the prostate or the breast, you have a lump in your breast, and that shows that they're likely to turn to cancer. Why are you going to watch it for it to turn to cancer?
Mm.
And how many clients have we had who were watching it? The lumps in their breasts, the elevated PSA, and they turn to cancer, and they're dead. They come to us when it's too late, and they're dead. Many people don't watch it.
Mm.
It's the
Well,
most silly thing I've ever heard in all of medical science.
it's frustrating on our part, obviously, because we see so many people achieve amazing results when they actually take action and they don't just watch. But to be fair, doctors typically are watching because there is no treatment they can provide at this time. It's frustrating that they don't say it that way, But if they do say it that way, then the next question from you is going to be, well, then what can I do? And then that's not their area of expertise. That's not what they do. And they don't frankly have enough time in the appointment to sit there and try and explain it to you, even if they did know. If they say, well, eat healthier, you're going to say, well, what does that mean? What should I eat? They're not a nutritionist. They're not going to get into that. So it's kind of a tough situation.
All right. So
And so we're here to tell
I
you
get
so
that.
that you know to take care of it.
I get that. I get that. Maybe I'm a little tough with the doctors.
I know you get
So
frustrated.
let me say it this way now, and relieve the doctors of that responsibility. When the doctors tell you that you know they're going to watch it, as Jillian just said, you should watch it and take care of it. And you go wherever you need to go to find someone who can help you to get rid of it, whatever it is. If you have blood pressure and it's not going away, it's like it's going to kill you. If you have diabetes that's not getting better, you have it for years, it's like it's going to kill you. Any issue we have, we humans, that's not getting better, it is most likely getting worse. You just can't see it until months or years pass and other organs start to fail, like diabetes or blood pressure, killing the kidneys, killing the heart, killing brain cells, killing blood vessels, and we develop all these issues. So please, let's make it as of today, we are not going to watch anything that's going wrong. That doesn't seem right. We're not going to watch it, because if we watch it, it's likely going to get worse and it can lead to really, really bad consequences. How about that?
Yeah.
So now the doctors are off the hook. We're on the hook. They say we should watch something. We ain't going to watch nothing.
I think if we were active on social media, we could start a hashtag like hashtag no more watching.
No more watching.
But we don't do anything on social, so maybe you guys could start that hashtag for us. All right, quickly. June was saying I'm gonna have the hubby try L-Nu for the toenail fungus also. So just so you know, June, I'll tell you what my sister did is she just poured a tiny amount of it into like a little cup with a lid. And then every day she would just dip her finger into that same cup and rub it into her toenail. And that cup lasted her for a couple of weeks. So it wasn't like she had to pour out a whole dose and soak her toe or something like that. So it should be a very, very affordable use of your L-Nu to do the whole toenail fungus thing. And then for Johnny Be Good, when you had mentioned it's helping your fingernails, I don't know if you're just taking it internally and your fingernails are growing out, which would be amazing, but you can also rub it into your fingernails if you're not already doing that.
And one tidbit of good news for all of you who will use NuSpecies externally. Viruses, so far as we know, viruses, bacteria, parasites, microbes cannot survive in NuSpecies formula. They can't survive in it.
Yeah. So
they die.
Not that we want you to try to contaminate your product in any way, but my sister didn't have any qualms about continuing to stick her finger into the same cup every day. I mean, obviously she washed her hands and stuff, but
well, she's been on NuSpecies for years, so she probably knows.
Yeah, so you can just make use of that same little cup for a while.
Not to say you should contaminate your NuSpecies formulas, folks.
Yeah, don't try.
Don't do that. Okay. But you know, these creatures that cause the most health issues on the earth, they can't survive in NuSpecies formula. And now you know one of the main reasons why NuSpecies works so well.
Right, because the same thing happens in your body.
Exactly.
Right. Ooh. All right. CA75 has a great follow-up. I have a question. Despite my lab work being normal and my cholesterol levels normal, the ER doctor prescribed Lipitor for 30 days. And this is in context of the TIA. Should I take it? He said it's for preventative measures.
If the doctor prescribe medication, let's say you mentioned Lipitor or, you know, or statin, and it's typically used for high blood pressure, high cholesterol or triglycerides in the blood. Be aware that these medication can be used for other health conditions as well. So if your cholesterol is normal, maybe it's been recommended for other things by your doctor, so you should find out.
It's called an off-label use of the product of that drug.
Right.
But you know, it could just be, and they said just 30 days. You know, a lot of these medication side effects can be difficult, especially if you stay on them long term. But you know, we're never going to tell you not to listen to your doctor, and they're only saying 30 days, and I'm assuming they just they're looking at maybe the most obvious cause of a TIA and they just want to.
The question I would ask is, have you had a history of high cholesterol or elevated cholesterol or triglyceride? Triglycerides are just the fat in the blood. If you have had a history of that, I could see why the doctor would recommend that. So, let us know if you have had a history of high cholesterol or triglycerides or any kind of lipid. There are many other type of lipid issues that can affect the heart and the brain or the blood circulation. So if you have had any of those references in your labs, over the years, you can let us know. And again, that's why we do the consultation that we do.
No history of it.
With our clients, we dig into their history to find out, what's been happening. This client that we have with the infection I told you about, he's had it since the 1990s. He never told us he had that infection, and it's likely the cause of a lot of the issues he had. He just never associate having an infection with high blood pressure, with kidney issues,
Right.
with all the issues he's having. He didn't even know that the bladder, where the infection probably live, it was just a few. The kidneys are just a few inches above it. Literally, is very close to it, and the prostate is just a few inches below. So all these organs are clustered, and the infection has been not damaging them. And for over 20 years, 25 or so years, very smart guy, very wealthy, smart guy. And he never even thought of that. So when you go to your doctor and they do something that doesn't seem right, they have a logical basis. I don't believe doctors are gonna put their medical license at risk of a lawsuit, by doing something that is not within the medical practice,
Yeah.
our
And sometimes,
normal medical practice.
yeah, I mean, sometimes they have some discretion with preventative measures.
Yeah.
And if you talk to them, you can sometimes they'll use your anecdotal feedback to determine whether they maybe wouldn't do that standard thing. So, they could just be being extra careful and saying, just do this for 30 days. If you really feel against it, you should let them know because they could use that to make a different judgment call for your case.
Right.
So if you haven't started taking it yet, I don't know how recently the TIA happened, but I know if someone goes to an ER, typically there is like a 3-day window where they'll take your call immediately anytime you call back. But if it's been longer than that, it might be a little bit harder to get through to the doctor and get an answer, but still try.
So we support our clients taking medication. What you can do, since you had, this discomfort with having to go to the medical, go to the emergency room, I would suggest that you take the L-Nu-1, our L-Nu-1, and L-Nu-9 together for the 30 days. Take the L-Nu-1 in the evening and the L-Nu-9 in the morning, and just take both of them for 30 days. If the doctors suspect any kind of lipid issues, those can help. These two formulas help to rebuild your body and just build up your body overall, especially in that regard. And I would recommend you take the medication because we don't know the reason for which it was recommended. We can't question the doctor. They did the medical exams. They look at your records. So even if your lab reports are clean, there could be things in your CT or ultrasound or other medical exams that the doctors may not even say to you because it's probably not related to the TIA. You just never know. You can't assume. I'm speaking to all of you, by the way. You should never assume and second guess your doctor. If you're going to second guess your doctor, get a second opinion
Right.
or a third opinion,
Or just talk to them again about it.
or talk to them about it.
Yeah. They're just not, a lot of doctors really aren't used to people questioning them or, yeah, questioning them. So, and it doesn't have to be a confrontational thing. It could be genuine curiosity. Sometimes they're a little bit like, oh, wait, okay, I'm not used to people asking me these kinds of questions. But, I do that with my doctors all the time, and they often are thoughtful and considerate. I mean, most have been. yes, are there bad doctors? Sure. That's going to happen in any industry. Do doctors make mistakes? Yes. But do they take an oath to do no harm? And is there constant consideration when they recommend or prescribe something, whether or not the treatment is going to cause more harm than what they're trying to treat? That's always the balance, because all medications or treatments are going to have some kind of side effect. Is there a small chance you could have a reaction? Sure. But is Lipitor a really widely prescribed medication that many people are on, that overall can be helpful in short periods of time? Yes. So I'm assuming the doctor is thinking, considering the symptom, which was the TIA, that a short use of this could be helpful. I don't think they made that decision lightly. So if you really do want to question it, just call them and ask.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you know you're going to take it and you're still going to be uncomfortable because you don't want to take medications, you're afraid of the side effects, certainly add in some more power with NuSpecies formulas as Aston recommended, so that your body will be as resilient as possible, knowing you have to go through this temporary thing that might be a little bit toxic for you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Um, Trevor says, my son is playing basketball. What NuSpecies products can I give him for him to stay healthy?
The B vitamins, get the B vitamins. A lot of our athletes, are around the world. That's what they take. So, and they love it. It gives them really good recovery
Energy.
and energy and endurance.
It also
And
so when you say B vitamins, it's really our multivitamin, and you'll see the label changing soon to be called multivitamin, because you're not just getting the whole B vitamins complex, you're getting vitamin C, and then in that formula is also alfalfa, which has a huge host of vitamins and minerals as well. So it's a really great multi that's liquid.
right, and if you want to go to the next level, and powering his body with great energy and endurance, as you will see within the first few days, you can add in the LNU25 and the bee pollen, and now um, he will be in a whole level. And this goes for all of you, whether you're in sports or not. Those are the three powerhouses that we have to rebuild the body with, to have energy, especially those of you who run or walk or work out or do muscle building or your marathon run or whatever you do. And if you do nothing, if you just want energy because you work hard, you do two jobs, or you work long hours, you just want energy, or you just want to feel good every day. The B vitamins complex, the LU25 and the B pollen, you take those. You don't have to take them every day. You can take them once, or every other day, or even 2 or 3 times a week if you want. That's extraordinary power, and no one has ever taken those together and tell me it wasn't amazing.
Right. And I'd highly
No one.
recommend getting him out of the culture of this Gatorade and these electrolyte drinks and stuff. Most of them are just full of sugar and colorings, chemical colorings.
Right.
Um, and then whatever electrolytes are in there is likely produced in a lab. It's synthetic. It's not like minerals from natural sources. Otherwise,
Right.
those products would cost a lot of money. So please don't let him get into drinking those things. Just drink water. Humans have been doing it for millions of years. Just drink water and then take NuSpecies. He'll get all the minerals, electrolytes that he needs. And then the only other thing I would add is, on a regular basis, especially for teenagers, if he's a teenager, they really do eat so badly. And they likely are not moving their bowels in the way that they should. And if you are an athlete and you need to be light and agile, there is nothing worse for performance than like gas and bloating. Or constipation. So I would say if he's taking the detox, a lot of teenagers aren't going to like the bitter taste of the powder, but he can do the capsules. He should just take the capsules every day. He might not need 3, maybe just 1, depending on how he eats, but that will help his bowels move, which will increase his energy and agility in incredibly. So the detox. And then the last thing I would say, and I know for our son it's good because often comes home after sports really sore, especially the next day. And then he's like, oh, I don't want to play golf today. I'm really sore. And it's like, okay, maybe there are, times you should take a break, but I make him take the MSM all the time to help reduce inflammation and repair. The multivitamin is going to be good for repairing damaged tissues too, but the MSM will also help reduce inflammation and help repair any damage to joints or muscles and bones. So The detox always, the B vitamins always. If you add in anything more powerful like the L-Nu, that can, like Aston said, can be a couple times a week. And bee pollen for muscle building, because that's great source of amino acids for to help your body create the proteins it needs to build up muscle. So the bee pollen, and then MSM is needed for soreness.
Mm-hmm. So you just got a whole big, super powerful system right there if you decide to go with it. But the B vitamins, it's a good start.
Mhm. And
Yeah.
we leave these recordings up on YouTube after the show is over. So if you just need to rewind back to this part of the show to find out. Oh, quickly, those of you on Instagram, it's going to time out in about 30 seconds. So if you want to stay on the show, you got to switch over to YouTube or Facebook. All right, one last question. We've got time for one more question today is from Titus. What do you guys have for high blood pressure?
So we have our protocols for high blood pressure. We have basic protocols, our options. So I think what we should do is just give you a call, and so we can walk you through what we have rather than put something up and on the screen or send you a link. I think we should just talk to you about the options we have, and so you can decide what's best for you. And also, if you have other health issues or health related issues, we can talk to you about it as well, and so we can handle your situation. The word I used before was holistically. We can understand, the broadest aspect of your health and help you the best way possible. But yes, we can help to support your body against high blood pressure.
So Titus, something to think about is if because NuSpecies isn't treating any disease or symptom, we're supporting your body to fix itself. Just because you weren't born with high blood pressure, it developed due to, it could be a myriad of reasons. And therefore, your body is ready to regulate its blood pressure again with the right support. And that is what we help your body do. But since we need your body to do the work, we need to be aware of what other burdens your body might be facing so that we're giving it the right amount of support to do the thing you're asking, right? We can't really force your body to lower your blood pressure. That's more of like a medication or remedy type thinking. We want to understand better not only what could potentially be causing high blood pressure, but are there any other issues you're having that will make it harder for your body to focus on that? And maybe you're focused on that, and yet the other issues you have are part of the root cause or are more dangerous. So it's there. We could talk about some generic recommendations right now, but I think it's best we just give you a really specific protocol. If you can call us if you don't even have to book an appointment, if Aston is available, our team will just conference him right into the call with you.
Mm-hmm.
That's been our practice recently, and it's going pretty well. But also, if you have any recent labs or tests or anything that can give Aston more insight into what's going on with your health, you can fax or, Mary put the phone number in, but you can fax or email to support@newspecies.com any medical records that you have.
The root cause is everything. There are about 20,000, up to 20,000 health issues, medical issues. And knowing the root cause of each of these issues is very, very, very critical to helping people. That's what we have discovered in our practice, over the years. So we want to talk to you about, your blood pressure, your diabetes, your cholesterol, whatever issues you have, folks. The root cause is critical because there are many root causes, and we have to know which one.
Sometimes it could be a medication that you're on for another issue, right? And so like a lot of folks will say, I just want to focus on this issue, and they're not realizing that they're thinking just because the other issue is under control with medication that it's not an issue, and yet it actually still is a problem for your body. The medication is basically just masking it,
right?
And it could be causing the other issue you're calling us to fix. So it is good to have that whole picture before we just ask you to spend hundreds of dollars,
And again, this goes for all of you. Diabetes can cause high blood pressure. Diabetes can cause cancer or lead to cancer. So, a lot of the health issues we have can be caused from so many different root causes. I mentioned the gentleman with the infection which was likely causing the chronic high blood pressure he had, and he didn't know. I'm not sure if his doctors knew. So we need to understand, your health better, especially when you have these more serious health conditions. It's good to know what's causing them, and usually the cause is in the blood tests, it's in the urine test, it's in the imaging, that's done. And if we get those, we can help to zero in on the root cause, and then we can help you more quickly. And sometimes what we do with, we don't look at the symptom, high blood pressure, we look at the root cause, and then we try to fix the root cause first, because by fixing the root cause, very likely the symptom, which is the blood pressure or the diabetes or the cholesterol or the cancer, will go away. And that's what we have seen again in the NuSpecies practice over the years. So it's good to know the health history, a little bit of it, even if it's verbally, you're relating it to us. It's good to know the health history, so we can more specifically target how we're going to help to support your body.
All right. Before we go, I want to show you what's on clearance right now. So I'm just going to share my screen and show you the website. So if you go to the website and you hover over shop, this section will always be here, whatever is 20 to 50% off. And that not everything is necessarily clearance, but it's just the bigger discounted items that I'm trying to focus you on. But as far as clearance goes right now, we are trying to clear out. I made a little bit too much of black cohosh. We only have 6 left, but these are on clearance right now at 30% off. So if you want to gobble up what we have left of black cohosh, we'd appreciate it, so nothing goes to waste. And then bee pollen. So the bee pollen 9 is 30% off. I'm looking to change the bottles that we put this in. So I just want to sell out of our current batch so I can make it the way that I want to moving forward. Nothing's going to change with the potency or effectiveness of the formula itself, but the packaging is going to change. So I'm just trying to sell out what we have left of the bee pollen 9, and that is 30% off. If you notice, you'll see the discount here is clear. That's just because black cohosh doesn't have any variations in sizes or potency. Because bee pollen does, you're not seeing the discount right here. But if you were to click on it, even if you change to 9, you're still not going to see the discount. You actually have to add it to your cart. And then once you get there, you'll see the discount here. So you're saving about $15. So it's a great discount. And what I will tell you about bee pollen is that a lot of folks use it for allergies. And I know that there are many folks who suffer from the lesser publicized allergy season that happens in the fall. And so if you are worried about allergy season come September, actually now is when you want to start taking bee pollen. If you wait for the symptoms to start, you're going to have to spend a lot more money and take much higher doses to get the same results. So I'd recommend starting now at the regular dose, and you should hopefully see, and many people do report, much better results where they just don't even get the symptoms at all and they forget it's even allergy season. So it's a kind of a double win here for you with the discount and the timing of the season. So that's what we have on clearance right now. The other items you saw in that section are just the rebuilding formulas that Aston has been keeping discounted for as long as possible, because he wants folks who rely on those bigger packages for rebuilding to be able to stay on them. I don't know how much longer we're going to keep those discounts there, but that's where you can always see if there's any items that have discounts that are separate from our normal discount periods. Also, Bronxville opens at 10 a.m. on Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. So every Saturday when we're on at 10 a.m., Bronxville is also already open. So those of you who are looking for those extended hours in Bronxville, those are happening now. So Monday and Tuesday, Friday and Saturday from 10 to 6 are Bronxville's new hours since earlier this month. And you can meet Shania. She's our newest team member, and she's over there. It's the reason we were able to extend hours. So you can meet her and say hi. She's actually the daughter of one of our longtime clients. So she's a bit more invested than, normal, when a lot of times we hire folks who never heard of us, which is not a problem. But in this case, Shania actually has and has seen the benefits of what NuSpecies has done for her family. And she's happy to share that. So she looks forward to meeting you, and we hope you head over there to meet her.
And we're recruiting sons and more daughters for Almont and Bronxville. So if you have any, please refer them to us. And we would love to have them be part of the NuSpecies family. So don't hesitate to do
And
that.
don't just think about that you want the store open more. Think about who would you want to talk to if you had to go to the store. That is the criteria we need you to keep in mind when you refer folks to us. Is this somebody you would feel confident in talking to? Obviously, they would be trained by us personally, but we want to make sure it's someone that you would actually want to interact with if you went to our store. That's the kind of referrals we're looking for.
All right.
All right. Lastly, there are going to be some closures to some of the stores coming up just due to employee vacations in August. So keep an eye out. If you're not on our email list or on our app, that's where you will get those notifications. So if you download NuSpecies app, we'll always send the notifications right to your phone. If you join our email list, you'll get our weekly newsletter, and then I outline closures there. Otherwise, we usually do update our Google business pages and our website, but sometimes I forget because it's me. So the email and the app are the best place to find that information. We don't want you to get stuck at a locked door. All right.
All right.
Thank you so much for this wonderful episode. It was so great to see some faces we haven't heard from in a while. Othniel Allen was here. Ron Fraser was here. We hadn't heard from June there in a little bit. And then and Suzanne joined. We hadn't heard from her, but hi to Donna and Jay and Maxine. And I was saying hi to you all throughout. Nice to talk to you, Titus. I'm not sure if we have worked with Titus before. I don't recognize the name off the bat. Thank you so much, CA75, for your participation in the show. No problem being anonymous. We totally understand. And Joyce was saying hi. She said, I love NuSpecies products. So thank you so much, Joyce. And Carol joined today too.
Okay.
So I was saying hi to all of you in the chat, but I just wanted to call out the names.
Well, hi to you all. Thank you for joining.
Thank you so much.
Great to have you, and keep getting your family and friends and coworkers, church parishioners, keep it going. Let's try to help as many as we can.
Yes.
God's people, God's love. That's what we are all about.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here, and we will see you next Saturday at 10 a.m. and have a wonderful, wonderful week.